Juggalos in recovery. Juggalos in recovery. Juggalos in recovery.
So fuck it. Here we go. All right. So Father's Day, right? So with like I posted something earlier, and some people got all offended and shit, which is funny. But
Wait, I saw that post and that was bullshit, man. Whoever posted the karma wheel, yeah,
Yeah.
fuck everyone else, man. Shout out to whoever made that for trying to like really lift other people up.
Yeah, that
And
was
wait,
Frank.
Discord? Do you have Discord? Did you see what I posted in the Discord? I was
Nah.
talking about how like if even one person spins that wheel and one good choice leads them to make two and then like four,
Right.
it has done its purpose. And then
Yeah.
it can't be understated.
Fuck
And then
yeah.
something like you guys care about the community and you're the ones who are building it and actively trying to make it better. Fucking
Yeah, man, it was unreal.
about
Yeah.
that. Yeah, fuck that. You know
It
what?
was unreal. And then I
Let me
posted
like,
another thing about Father's Day, just like a
Yeah.
joke, and people got all butthurt, but whatever.
Here,
So it's
hey,
like,
where can I post this? Because here's what I wrote in Discord. I'll post it for you, but I want whoever made the wheel to know what I said like that. Because yeah,
well, go to the Facebook page. That's where all the bullshit was. Like, Juggalos in Recovery Facebook page. Like, it's public and you can post it there. But anyway, so anyway, Father's Day, right? So like, the idea behind my post was like not to like hate on your dad or whatever. So
Yeah.
like, my personal story was that when I was in active use and drinking, like I blamed my parents and my dad for like everything that happened to me, and I would always say shit like, I was never loved as a kid, like I was beat on, I was treated very poorly, right? And I would use that as an excuse to drink and drug and whatever the fuck else, and I did that until my mid 30s, and basically, what I've learned and what I've come to realize is that, despite all of the shit that my dad put me through, in the end, he was just doing the best that he knew how, even if it was shitty. So, we we tend to blame our parents, right? But they're just doing the best that they know how. My dad was raised by a maniac too, for the most part. That's just how it was. You got beat with a belt. You weren't supposed to speak unless you were spoken to. Things like that. And they come from that old school mentality of like, you're gonna work right out of high school and you're gonna move out, and you're gonna get a job, and all this shit. And if you didn't, that's where the corporal punishment came in. And I can't tell you how many times I've been punched and backhanded, and the weird shit I had to do, like growing up, and I blamed him, right? But he was just doing like the best that he knew how, right or wrong. So, there are fathers that are complete monsters, and just wreak havoc on their entire family, and it's hard to forgive those people, but you really have to. Like, forgiveness is a super powerful, it's super powerful to forgive somebody and to kind of recognize like that they were just doing like what they knew how, even if it was shitty. So I stopped blaming my parents. I don't blame anybody for my problems. My problems are my problems. Yeah, sure, when I was a kid, maybe not having enough food, or maybe, whatever was their fault, but in the end, like if I hold those resentments over myself, I'm always going to be like looking for an excuse to use and whatever. So I did my step work because that's how I got sober, was through the steps. And so part of the step work is, you make this list of people and then you reach out to them to make amends to them, right? So this person who has done me wrong, I was supposed to reach out and make amends to this person, and that for me was really hard. It's like, okay, I have to apologize for something that he did, but I had to apologize for the part that I had in it. I wasn't the best kid, and I was an asshole, and I did stupid things, and so I did that, and I apologized. I did my part, And then we had a really good conversation. That was after like 8 years of not talking to him. And we had a really good conversation, and things were good. And but he never called. And it's been probably, well, no, it's been 5 years since I've done this. So he's never called really proactively. He sends birthday cards and stuff, but like we don't really talk, and that's fine. Like I did my part. I reached out to him. I did my amends, and now it's on him, right? So anyway, instead of being resentful of that, it's just like, okay, he's just doing what he knows how to do. He's not going to reach out. That's not what he was like built to do, and that's fine. So what I do is like when Father's Day or his birthday or Christmas come along, I'll send him a Christmas card with pictures in it of my kids, and I'll send him a text message. Like this morning, I just texted him that, hey, I love you, happy Father's Day. And then that's that. He responded back with some picture. I can't remember what it was, but and I'm okay with that. Like, I'm not mad that he doesn't call. Like at first I was, because I was like, oh, fuck that. I made my apology. Where the hell's his, But in the end, that doesn't do any good. In the end, it's me having to live with myself, right? He has to live with himself. If he's okay with not calling me and stuff, that's on him. Like, but for me, it's more of, my peace of mind. So where I'm at today, though, in my sobriety is, like I said, I don't really hold resentments over anybody. You can still be mad at people, and you could still like not want to talk to them or whatever, but that's all resentments and stuff that you really got to let go of, because it doesn't do you any good, whether you're sober or just trying to maintain mental health. So my suggestion and what was kind of argued back and forth on the Facebook page was that, you do have to let go of that stuff. And I agree with it. You have to let go, and just let it be what it is, no matter what. So, a lot of people find that hard, but for me, it was freeing. The Violent J said some shit during a recent interview he did, and it was fucking dope. He said something along the lines of the power that you have once you don't give a fuck, like you can constructively not give a fuck, and the power that gives you is amazing. Like, it's so freeing to like constructively, or like, whatever, just not really care like what other people do to you or think and hate on you for it. Super powerful. So with that, if you guys want to share on that, anything that you have to share would be awesome. So fire away. Monster, yeah, your hand to go.
I really liked what you said, man, because that's what I've been talking about in therapy too. Like, what your parents did was what they knew how to do. They can't give you what they don't have, and coming to terms with that is really hard. Because I know one thing I think about often is like, I know I'm trying to go for my career, but no matter how far I get, how far successful, or like however rich I become, none of that is going to compare to the words of encouragement or the hug I wish I would have got from my dad. Like, a one sentimental moment can't replace all of that, but it's important to try and not get stuck on it. And my therapist has been helping me at that too, telling me like you have to reparent yourself almost, give yourself the positive encouragement, do things that make you happy, try to build a better life. Your parents might not have set you up for success or programmed you to be successful, because often they often pass these bad habits down to you. But
Right.
knowing that you can let go, that you can love them from a distance and not take it personally, has helped a lot. Like, I know, like you were saying, man, your dad doesn't say he loves you a lot. Mine is the same way. We don't talk like that. And I admit it really frustrates me and hurts me at times, because I wish we could. I want
Right.
him to tell him he loves me, and I want to be able to tell him that back.
Right.
And he's old, like 70 or 80. I don't know how much longer he's got. But all that shit, like all the time we could have spent together, like mini golfing or something, and having these conversations as father and son, would have meant a lot. Just, you just let it go. It is what it is. You can live your own life and learn to walk away. Like you said, not give a fuck and reparent yourself. Know that you are worthy, you are powerful. Your parents might not have been able to tell you that, but that's okay. They did the best they could with what they knew. They
Right.
have their own demons.
Right. So yeah, a couple things on that is so I saw a picture of him on Facebook. I haven't seen him in a long
Mhm.
time, and he's like, I want to say 75. He just had a birthday. I think
Mhm.
he's 75, and he looks just old, man. Like he's not going to be around much longer. And it was like,
Mhm.
damn, he's going to be gone. And so, like you kind of said, you said it in a different way, but it's detaching with love, right? So you detach from
Mhm.
the situation, but you're doing it with love, like so you don't give a fuck with love. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I don't care, but it's with love. It's like
Mhm.
not that I don't care with hate. Like there's a huge difference in that. So yeah, awesome.
Yeah, exactly like you said.
Yeah.
Not hate them, but learn to love with indifference. Cause yeah, man, it's hard, right? You're
Right.
like, I know my dad often says it's okay we don't like each other because he didn't like his dad or go to his dad's funeral in like the past 3 generations. But that shit's sad. Can you imagine like each generation hating their dad that much they don't go to the funeral or like say they love each other? And it's hard not to get frustrated. Like, damn, I want to break the cycle. Why can't we break the cycle and do better as a family?
Right. Josie, what you got on it?
Huh. I would say, yeah, that's one thing that was always difficult when my dad was alive. Like for a while, we had no contact because there was so
Mhm.
many issues with him being all over the place. My mom basically telling me that she didn't know where he was until I was a teenager and I became too much for her. So my
Mhm.
dad started being around, and I would say since he passed away, at times my it's odd. Like even when I saw my mom, she like her and my grandmother would look at me and be like, "We give you funny looks at times because you look too much like your father did. So
Mhm.
that's why we look at you strange."
Right. Oh, yeah. So you lost your dad when you lost him. Were you in contact with him then? You were saying, right?
Yeah, he as far like he had gotten sober when my kid like went into rehab that basically found out about it the day my daughter had surgery. I was doing really good, like starting to work for a vape company, doing all this different stuff and bettering himself. Like, I don't know how he passed away, to be honest with you, because my
Mhm.
mom didn't do an autopsy, never found out.
Oh man,
So
yeah.
it's still
Mhm.
like a curiosity. Did he
Right.
fuck up again, or what happened?
Right.
Or
Mhm.
did all the using for years and years catch up with him?
Mhm.
And so, you know, the other thought I had on this was like, so my dad was just kind of shitty, growing up. And like I said, he just did what he knew best, and what's
Mhm.
cool about that is that I learned so much from it. Even like before I got sober, like with my kids, like I always tell them I love them. I always like hug them. I've never spanked my kids like once. And there's different ways that I've like disciplined my kids. You don't have to always use violence, right? So I've been able to change that, and it's got it. My kids are loved, man. My kids feel
Mhm.
like they have some self esteem. Every kid has self esteem issues, right? But like mine are gonna
Mhm.
know that their fucking dad loved them with all his heart, and so
Yeah, right. And that love is going to help them overcome those self-esteem issues so they don't carry them into later in life because they know if whenever they're lost, they can come back to you and you'll be there for them. It makes a huge difference, and that's actually one of the 12 stages of life in psychology they talk about. Between like 3 and 5, you learn to have support and have self-confidence that when you go and try something new, your parent will always be right there behind you if you need them. And if that's not really done as a kid, then you grow up with bad self esteem that carries on later to life like a snowball effect.
100%. Well, Josie, I'm glad that you were able to at least reconnect before that happens. And I'm glad I was
Yeah, like
able to too with mine. Like he's gonna go. Like that dude's on his way out, man. He's got COPD. He looks old as shit. Like we're all gonna be there someday. But yeah, I'm glad I was able to let all that go. So
yeah, I was definitely glad that I was able to let go of some anger I had at times for him, but like he always tried, even when he was doing shitty, to make me not go down the path he did. Like
Right.
I was actually pissed off at him when he passed away in a sense after a while. Like I have a resentment for that, even though yeah, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, wild. So I'm gonna turn off the recording. I think that's pretty dope. Shit. So I'm gonna turn that off, and we can just fuck around. Let's see.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.